Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I am Amalgam Ash, and it's time for me to unveil, present, and announce the Fall Mega Minutiae 2023 Game Jam, hosted by me. The Mega Minutiae is an event that allows games to be submitted if they are made using one of the listed engines. Now, all of the information you need is linked in the description below, going to the itch.io jam page, but we'll go over that page together here in this video right now. It only allows submissions to participate if they were made in one of the following engines. A lot of the engines here are pictured on my low effort thumbnail, but the full list is actually a bit larger than this and has the potential to grow. So let's go over the list of engines that are allowed, what's not allowed, what is this jam, why is this jam, and we'll take a look at the other things too. So the first Mega Minutiae Jam was around 3-ish years ago. It was a special event. I was just getting my footing into YouTube and being introduced to all of these different no-code engines, trying them out left and right, getting involved with various communities, including the then Smile Game Builder community, as well as the RPG Paper Maker community and the RPG in a Box community. And the jam that I hosted was kind of an effort to showcase all of these engines kind of at once, especially to the different communities, just so they were aware of what other tool sets were out there. And that wasn't necessarily to promote competition of any kind. It was to kind of give people the option to see if the current engine that they were using wasn't working for them or couldn't fulfill a need they had. Could this other engine do that for them? Could this other engine have a workflow that facilitated their project better? And if not, would they have the confidence to just continue using the engine that they were on? It was also a really great way, in my mind, to get people who didn't know anything about any of these no-code engines to see what they could do and to give them a chance. So the official list right now of engines that are supported for this jam is RPG Developer BAKIN, RPG in a Box, Smile Game Builder, RPG Maker MV, but you must use the MV 3D plugin if you use MV, RPG Maker MZ, and you must use the MZ 3D or Rose engine plugins to make your game 3D if you are going to use this engine, the official Hamster Republic RPG Creation Engine, Wolf RPG Editor, GB Studio, SRPG Studio, Visual Novel Maker, Ren'Py, and RPG World Action RPG Maker. Do I actually think that all of these engines are going to be utilized for this jam? No, but I wanted to make sure that they were included. Now, this is a growing list, which means there are some on here that I haven't considered or can't remember as of the time of editing my jam page and publishing it, but one of them actually needs to be Pixel Game Maker NV. That engine is allowed to be used for this jam. You'll note that they aren't all necessarily RPG engines, and this is totally fine. I'm not requiring the game that is submitted to be an RPG. It can be an action game. It can be an adventure game. It can be any kind of game in any sense of the word. I just want more attention drawn to all of these no-code engines. But Ash, you can definitely code in some of those engines. Yes, I'm aware of this. A lot of these do facilitate various forms of coding. RPG Developer BAKIN, for example, allows you to create C# plugins and use them with the engine. There are also plenty of scripting functions available in Visual Novel Maker, Ren'Py, RPG in a Box. There are ways to use complex Java plugins with RPG Maker MV and MZ. I know all this, but the point of these engines being listed is that they do not require you to know any programming whatsoever. You can get in here and, using a little bit of logic, make your game sometimes within seconds, just by connecting the dots or dragging assets and dropping them onto maps. So if you don't see an engine that you do want to use, you can create a topic at the community tab and request it, or you can just comment down below, because I'll be paying attention to the comments below this video as well, and I will consider adding it. Examples of engines that I currently don't want to consider using are Unity, Unreal, and Godot. Even though there are plenty of options out there that can turn those engines into a no-code experience, I'm simply not interested in showcasing what they can do on this platform. There are many other content creators who can show you much better than I can what those engines are capable of, and who have the time to kind of show you how to use them and get involved with their communities. I just don't. I also don't want to use any of the other RPG makers out there. I just kind of want to stick to MV and MZ for this jam, and I don't care if anybody agrees. The goal of the jam is to foster continuing interest in these different themed engines from today and yesteryear, because there are quite a few that are a bit older now, 32-bit engines, while showcasing what they can do when they are combined with a creative mindset. And I say this much in the jam page. Now, there are only 5 rules to follow if you are interested in participating in this jam, and they are very simple rules. But for those of you who are more interested in the themes and the challenges aspect of game jams, I have a list of completely optional themes and challenges for you to choose from. There are character challenges, there are generator challenges, music, plot, and theme challenges. You can select none of these, one of them, a combination of any number of them. You can even try to shoehorn every last challenge into your game. Definitely difficult and pretty impractical to do, but possible. I've made sure of that. For example, one of the character challenges is featuring Aqua the Gel Cat, which is a Patchwork character. Patchwork has graciously allowed everyone and anyone to use Aqua for their games, but using them as an important character. You can also use Nilbog the Goblin, my own mascot, and you are free to use these characters in the form of your own interpretation, freely creating them in a character generator if you wish, or making them from scratch. There are no existing assets for Nilbog or Cornelius out there, for example, so if you want to include them in your game, you're free to characterize them however you wish. All you have to know about Nilbog is that she's ace, she loves treasure, and she's very smug about her loving of treasure. That's it. She's very shallow. Now, I misspoke a little bit about the music challenges. One of the challenges, game features only music from Azakaela. The other is the game features only music from Hertz Smith. These are 2 very talented musicians that I've featured here on the channel, and I've covered their bodies of work. If you want to use music from both of the artists, that is perfectly fine, and I'm actually going to reword those challenges to make a little bit more sense and be a little more accessible. It's one of those things that you don't catch until you're reading stuff back while the camera's on and you're recording a time-sensitive video. Anyway, use your imagination to figure out how to incorporate the challenges you pick into your game, but most importantly, have fun with it. Seriously, if you're not having fun, you're not allowed. We are on to the rules now, and there are only 5 of them, so listen carefully because they're very important, although I think they are very simple. The first rule is make sure your submission is made using one of the allowed engines. Again, if you have any suggestions for engines you think should be allowed, suggest them down below or on the Itch Jam page, and I will see about adding them too if I think that they fit the Mega Minutiae's overall goal. But otherwise, every single game engine listed has numerous tells in its exported files that allow me to make sure that it was made in the correct engine. So please have integrity when submitting your project. 2, it has to be made for the jam. You can't submit something that you're making right now unless you've been working on it in secret and nobody knows about your project. If you get started at this moment, you're absolutely safe. I don't care if you want to submit your game everywhere else to all of the other jams out there. If they fit those jams, that's totally fine. But do make sure that it's not something that you already made, that you're just repurposing for this jam. Make something original for the jam. 3, it must be free. This is an itch.io rule by default, and one that I always try to cover because I have had people try to charge money for their jam submissions, which makes no sense whatsoever. Don't charge money for it. Not now, not ever. It is a submission to a free jam. Keep it free. Also, don't pull your project later and then charge money for it in another form. Leave the version of the product that you have submitted to the jam as it is and leave it free. I can't stop anybody from actually pulling their projects, but if they do pull them in order to turn around and create a paid version, I would like to disqualify them from entering future jams. A bit of a sour note, but it's happened before, so I don't like that. That's not the point of this jam. It's to showcase what can be done now and inspire and educate and entertain others. 4, this is kind of a given, but it's still important to go over. You must own or have permission to use the assets that you are using for your game. Stuff that comes with the engine is always safe. Paid DLC or free DLC or stuff that other people are sharing on their itch.io pages as assets that say that you can use it, you've got public domain license or CCO or any commercial rights you want, that's all fine. But nothing that's copyrighted that you don't have permission to use. No sprite rips from retro video games, no copyrighted music, none of that, please. The 5th rule is, agree to allow the game to be played on video platforms. I say this because I want to cover if other judges would like to play your game, but in general, I would like for content that is submitted to the jam to be available to anybody who wants to use it for video content as well, not just me. So if I appoint any judges and they, for example, have YouTube channels, I would like for them to be able to play the game on their YouTube channel without any fear of repercussion or being taken down or anything like that. So you must agree to all 5 of these rules to participate in the jam, and I think that they're pretty accessible rules, but please let me know what you think as well. Judgment period is going to be probably 2 weeks-ish. It just really depends on how many submissions there are, so this is just never set in stone for me. Submission period is roughly 2 weeks, I think. You've got like 3 weeks or so. It's all listed on the jam page. Just go look at that. And as for prizes, this is a non-prize jam. There's no pressure to submit anything. The jam entries will be scored and rated by your peers. Everybody who submits an entry will be able to judge the other entries, and the community as a whole can kind of comment on the performance of the games submitted and accept feedback on their own project that was submitted. However, I will manually rank your game depending on how many of the challenges you successfully complete, because somebody has actually completed every single challenge. The last time I hosted one of these, it was that Pebble Prince with his adventure game made in RPG Maker. Absolute mad lad. He just nailed every single challenge. So this time we're making it a lot harder to do that. Thank you so much for watching this video and for considering participating in my events. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them down below. Join the Amalgam Archive Discord. Make a topic on the itch.io page, and I will see you next time. Until then, have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.